There's this sentence that I always think about, which says, you want to be one version of yourself. And that's very hard nowadays. We are multiple versions of ourselves. There's an offline version of ourselves, and then in the offline version, there are multiple versions. And then in the online virtual world, there are multiple versions of ourselves. So now we have many versions of ourselves that we have to maintain, instead of just focusing on that one version. But the younger we are, the more normal it is that we are multiple personalities, because we want to fit in, we want to find this acceptance, we want for people to like us, to validate us. So oftentimes we are very adaptive in order to belong to a particular tribe. And then oftentimes what we often do is we sacrifice our authenticity for that attachment to a specific tribe. And as Jim Carrey said, that need for acceptance can make us invisible in this world. And unfortunately, that's what we do a lot, right? We invest in all those personalities in order to feel accepted. But when you do that, you are becoming invisible in this world. You are basically disconnecting yourself from yourself. So that is the sacrifice. If you want to belong, if you want to be accepted by everyone, then the one thing that you will sacrifice is ultimately you, your true authentic version of yourself. And that happens when you're young, because you don't really know who you are, what you stand for, what you want to do in your life, where you want to go, what your values are, what your virtues are, so you don't know. But the more introspection you do, the older you become, the wiser normally you become, the more you will know what matters in life. Normally, the older you become, the more you care less about other people's opinions. You realize that life is finite. You realize there is an end to this life. You realize that everything that is happening right now, everything that we take for granted, will be over. We are conscious essentially of our mortality. So because of that, we care less about other people's opinions. And that is very important. So if you are splitting your personalities in 5 and 6 and 7 just because you want to be accepted by everyone else, understand that you are sacrificing yourself. You want to work towards becoming one version of you. And a huge benefit of becoming one version is that you will attract the right people who will appreciate you for who you are and what you stand for. Because if you adapt to all those people, a lot of times you don't even agree with those people. You don't even agree with their values, what they stand for. But again, you will then sacrifice that authenticity just because you want that attachment. You want to belong. You want to feel safe with all those people, because then you have a place where you fit in. What matters is that you focus on you so you can attract the right tribe. You want to be able to attract the right tribe, which is only possible when you work on yourself. And also, this applies to relationships. A lot of times we try to adapt ourselves in order to stay with that girl, to stay with that boy, in that relationship with a guy or with that girl. We sacrifice our authenticity because we want to be with this person. But a lot of times we have to let people go, not because we want to, but because we have to, because we see the person is not suitable. You should wish that person all the best, but then tell the person, but you're not for me. I'm looking for something else. Someone who shares similar values. And that's why it's so important to understand what it is exactly that you want. And you will know that by spending more time with yourself. So try to work on becoming one version of you. To display yourself anywhere, in the online world, in the offline world, one version of you. And forget about all the people who do not want to belong to your tribe, because you do not want to belong to their tribe either. Because you do not want to change yourself. Why would you change yourself so you will fit in? There are many other people who will appreciate you for who you are and what you stand for. So work on being just one version of yourself. Life is too short. Be one version of yourself, and then attract people who matter in your life, people who will help you, people who your future self will like as well. So that one version, it will take a lot less attention, a lot less time, a lot less effort to just focus on one version of you and invest in that version, instead of trying to invest your time and energy in all those other multiple personalities and versions of you. So one version that both will be the one version in the offline world, and that same version will then also be operational in the online world.